the Zorba. Anyone who has not read Zorba, the Greek should read it. Zorba says to his boss, "There is something missing on you, boss, a touch of madness. Unless you cut the cord, you'll never really live." A little madness in human beings gives you other dimensions besides poetry and courage enough to be happy in this unhappy world. Zorba has a beauty all his own. Kazantzakis, the author of the novel Zorba the Greek, is one of the greatest Greek writers of the last century and suffered tremendously at the hands of the church. Zorba is a name fictional. The character is not a historical person. When Zorba the Greek wrote, Kazantzakis was expelled from the church. When writing Zorba, he was forced to withdraw his book from circulation, otherwise it would be expelled. As he did not remove it from circulation, he was expelled from Christianity and condemned to hell. Zorba, in fact, is the very individuality of Kazantzakis repressed by Christianity. He knew I could live it, but I wanted to. Kazantzakis expressed all that unlived part of his life in the role of Zorba. Zorba is a handsome man who does not fear hell, does not covet to go to heaven, lives every moment, enjoy the little things, food, drink, women. After a day full of work, he picks up his instrument and sits on the beach dancing for hours. And the other part of Kazantzakis, which was reproduced in Zorba, the Greek. Zorba is the servant, and the other part is the master who employed Zorba. The boss is always sad and sitting in his office doing his files. He never laughs, he never has fun, he never goes out, and deep down he's always jealous of Zorba for this one. Although he doesn't earn much, very little actually, lives like an emperor, doesn't think about tomorrow, what might happen. Zorba eats well, drinks well, sings well, dances well. Unlike his master who, despite being very rich, just sits there sad, tense, in anguish, in misery, suffering. Zorba is the unlived part of every so-called religious person. And why was the church so against it when Zorba was published? It was just a romance. There was nothing for the church to worry about. But it was so clear that it was about life that every Christian would like to live, that this novel could be a dangerous book. And it's a dangerous book. However, Zorba is tremendously beautiful. Kazantzakis sends him to buy some things. Zorba is tremendously beautiful. Kazantzakis sends him to buy some things at the city, and he forgets everything. Drinks and hangs out with prostitutes, has fun, and from time to time remembers that many days have passed, but also that you still have the money. Unless all the money ends, why would he come back? The master will be very angry, but nothing could be done in relation to that. That's his problem. Although he was supposed to stay for only 3 days, he returns after 3 weeks and brings nothing that was asked for, the reason for his trip, and comes with all the stories. What a great trip. You should have been there. I met such beautiful bubalina and such good wine. But what about things? Says the master. For 3 weeks I was boiling here. When there are so many beautiful things available, who cares about these little ones' stuff? Argues Zorba. You can cut my salary each week little by little and have your money back. I regret that I couldn't come back sooner. And you should be happy for me have come back. As the money ran out, I was forced to come. But next time I go, I will bring all things. You'll never go again, replies the master. I'll send someone else. Zorba's life as a whole is a life of simple physical pleasure, but without any anxiety, without any guilt, without any annoyance with regard to sin and virtue. Nikos Kazantzakis represents each and every human being. He was a rare man, but victim of a whole past. He was a very sensitive man. That's why the division became very clear. He was a very intelligent man who realized he was divided. This was the source of a great inner torture. Being divided against yourself is hell, and fighting yourself is continual torture. The person wants to do something, this is a part of him. And the second part says, no, you can't do that. It is sin. How can you be at peace with yourself? And the one who is not at peace with himself, he cannot be at peace with society, with culture, and ultimately with existence. The individual is the real brick of all existence. I wish this Zorba man was. I live in each individual, as it is the natural heritage of each one. But you shouldn't stop and stay in Zorba. Zorba is just the beginning. I would like you to be Zorba the Greek and Gautama the Buddha, together, simultaneously. Any less than that will not be enough. Zorba represents the earth with all its flowers, vegetation, mountains, rivers, and oceans. Buddha represents the sky with all its stars and clouds, and the arches. Iris. Heaven without earth will be empty. Heaven cannot laugh without earth. The earth without the sky will be dead. With the two together, a dance comes into being. Earth and sky dancing together, and there's laughter, there is joy, there is celebration. If a man can truly be a Zorba, he is not far from being a Buddha. Already went almost halfway, and the first half is the hardest because all religions are against. All religions drag man to another place, away from the first half, and once dragged in some other direction, it can never be a Buddha. After all, this is the only path that leads to Buddha. Zorba is the path to Buddha. Since I met you, I started daring to love, laugh, and dance again. You opened my eyes for beauty, for the poetry of life. I feel younger, almost childlike, amazed for the beauty that permeates everything. I feel like a wandering pagan youth with pleasure, drinking the juice, enjoying every drop of it. Is this deeply immoral? No, it's immensely moral. It's the only morality there is. Be pagan and squeeze every drop of the juice of every moment of life. Being a child with your innocence, running again after butterflies, collecting shells from the beach, colored stones. See the beauty of the existence that surrounds you. Allow yourself to love and be loved. Love is the principle of religion, and also the end of religion. And a religious person is always young. Even when he's dying, he's young. Even in his death is full of joy, full of dancing, full of music. I teach the individual to be pagan and to have the innocence of children. I teach to know the wonders and the mysteries of existence, not to analyze but to enjoy, not to create one theory, but to practice a dance. All beings on earth dance except man. They have become a great cemetery. Me, I call all to come out of their graves. No, it's not immoral. All religions will say it is, but all these religions are wrong. Anyone who says this is immoral is simply against humanity, against the existence, against joy, against happiness, against everything that leads to godliness. I am entirely in agreement.